Welcome back to the Rivian Dad channel. Thank you so much for hanging on. This video is a couple of days delayed. We did just pick up Rosie from the Denver Auto Shield, which she just got a wrap in a reward for all her hard work she's done for the last week or so. So that was the reason for the delay, but we are back from Bishop. We took a long road trip, over 2,000 miles in a full round trip. I took a lot of data, recorded a lot of stuff along the way, and I've got all that spreadsheet ready for you, so stick around for that. But while we're in Bishop, we had a great time, great Thanksgiving. We even got a chance to get up into the buttermilks and do a little bit of dirt road driving, not some serious four-wheeling, but it was really cool. Just the most amazing place. If you ever have a chance to go to Bishop, don't hesitate. And it's got a Rivian charger there. In fact, all the 395 corridor along that part of California is perfect. You can get all the way from LA all the way up to Truckee and back without ever touching anything but a Rivian charger. It's really great, and the chargers are awesome. So, for this video, I wanted to talk about some of the takeaways that we had from this particular road trip. We did put it to the test. We went a long way. We had two kids with us. We had a lot of crap in the car. It was mostly event-free, which is a good thing, and the truck did amazingly well. But I want to kind of break down this video into three sort of sections: driving, charging, and some of the gear. With respect to driving, I mean, it's awesome. It's almost effortless. I got in the truck to go to the charger in the morning before we came home, and it was just so notable how easy it was to get from one point to another. It just kind of rolls itself, and you just sort of sit there and direct it, but you don't do much. It's just almost, I mean, effortless is the word that comes to mind. Of course, it's not exactly effortless. You do have to participate, but it feels so much better than a lot of other cars, which take a lot more work to drive. Having the third row in this particular case was incredible. It was a game changer. Having the kids to be able to spread out. My daughter would often go in the way back and sort of buckle herself in and rest or do something else. And my son would kind of have his own space in the second row. And it just worked really well. I think the truck would have been good also, but with the truck only in two rows, the kids would have been closer together. So there would have been a little bit more conflict probably, but you know, our kids are at that age, so it's just part of the equation. But with the third row, it was a really amazing drive. I'm also not completely in love with Driver Plus. I used it. It's fine. It works well. I just don't really love it. It's just a personal thing, I think. I like to be able to steer when I'm driving. And as I mentioned, it's so effortless anyway. It doesn't really take much effort to steer as you're driving, especially on the highways. And so I think that's fine, but it's not my first preference. However, the adaptive cruise is really great, and it's kind of a game changer. You can just set it, and with all the torque that this vehicle has, it'll just get behind whatever you need, the cars in front of you, and it'll just stay there, whether you're going up a hill or down or wherever. It just does its job perfectly well. So I really appreciate having the extra adaptive cruise control. That was really great. One little thing that I found kind of glitchy, there were several times as I was driving that I noticed my signal light was on and I didn't know it was on because I had switched it on and it went, it stuck on and I didn't know I hadn't turned it off. It's just that the mechanism is a little kludgy and I just don't love it. You have to push up or down a full swing to get it to latch on, and then you have to do a half up or a half down to turn it off. By the way, for anybody who owns an R1S or an R1T and you don't already know this trick, if you push up to turn right or down to turn left and then you go half down in that same direction, it will turn that direction off. It will turn the signal light off. So once I kind of got used to that particular mechanism, it was better. It's not a big deal, but it is something that I noticed. Now with regards to charging, I know that you're expecting me to say that it was a pain point, but you know what? It wasn't. It really wasn't. We had to charge several times, like about 10 times in each direction, which sounds like a lot, but really we kind of averaged about 2.5 hours or so between each stretch. And by that time, you kind of had to stop anyway. So we would charge and we would start the charger and we would do our thing. And very often the charger was already done and maybe even further than where we were planning to charge by the time we were done going to the bathroom and shopping or walking around loosening up. So for us, the charging speed was actually perfectly fine. These were almost entirely Electrify America stops. There was a couple of bits. We did come back through Ely, Nevada, and we had some problems there. It did work eventually, but you know, we got overcharged and I had to call the service people. Anyway, it was fine, but not the best. So that's a bit of a charging problem. But with respect to the pain point, there is one pain point with regards to charging, and it is locations. We just need more chargers. So like a couple of strategically placed chargers, and I'm looking at you, Ely, Nevada, would make a huge difference. And it would zero out a lot of the blank spaces in the map where we could go, because with over 250 miles of range, you can kind of get a lot of places, even if the chargers are pretty spread out. But there are a couple of holes that really need to be filled in. So that is definitely a pain point. And I mentioned that I took a bunch of data as we were driving. You could see that there were a lot of sort of notable patterns. Like I mentioned, the amount of time that we stopped at certain stops was about 2.5 hours between stops, which I felt like was kind of about as far as you could go. And the efficiency averaged out to about 2.04 miles per kilowatt hour. So that actually was pretty impressive. I was expecting it to maybe be affected by the cold weather, and there were some stretches that were pretty cold and, down below freezing and even in the teens. It didn't seem to affect it. Maybe that's because we were already warmed up and driving. I don't know. And there's no way to know for sure how much it affected it, but I will say that it didn't affect it so much that it was noticeable. So that's a really important thing to know. So with respect to gear, well, we didn't have to use any of our emergency gear, thank goodness, or any of the tools, and that's of course what we were hoping for, but we had it just in case. But some of the things that we were watching to see how well they worked, first of all, having tinted windshields, I didn't think I would feel this way, but it's kind of a game changer. It really does help a lot. There were a lot of times when I didn't even have my sunglasses on, and I'm one who really needs sunglasses. So it really does help, and even at night, didn't even notice it. It just helped keeping the glare down. The screen protector by Voltage Accessories, I do like it. It's a matte finish. They are working on a non-matte finish, I've been told, so look out for that as well, but really good products there too. And the Canvasback covers for the upholstery in the back, they kind of disappeared, and that's actually a good thing. They did exactly what they were supposed to do. They were protecting the upholstery, but they weren't in the way in any way. I folded the seats up and used it as normal, kind of forgot that they were even there. So that's really great. Some of the other bits, like the trash can and the center console, they were kind of hit and miss, but worth trying out. And if you have any other gear like that you feel like really works on a road trip, please let me know, because I'm always wanted to try out new stuff. But overall, it was an amazing road trip. We had a lot of fun. And yes, I'm here to testify that road tripping in a Rivian, even a long ways across the Western United States, is very possible. In fact, really comfortable and a great drive. Yeah, there are a couple of pain points like I mentioned, but generally speaking, worked really well. I think one of my favorite road trips I've ever taken. Just simple as that. And I guess that's it. Thanks for joining us on this little road trip. More videos to come. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the tinting on the windshield and on the side. I've got a video for that coming. I've got a video coming on the spare tire, which, like I said, we didn't have to use, but I have used it just so that I could see how it works, and I'm putting that together as well. So lots more to come. Please stay tuned. Thank you so much for subscribing and joining us. Leave us a comment below. Let us know how your Thanksgiving was, what kinds of road trips you took, and in which vehicles, and all that stuff. So thanks again. We'll see you in the next one.